The first idea is something you can finish so quickly. It's just basically drawing on white cup or mug and plate, and you don't have to be artistic to do it. You don't have to be. So long as you can write, you can do something very beautiful. And in this one, I'm going to be doing something very basic. I'm going to be doing one and dash all through, and because it is a pattern, like it's going to come out in a pattern form, it's going to end up looking really cool and beautiful. You don't have to be artistic to do this. You can even use this design, this pattern that I'm doing. It's very simple. One and dash and one and dash. That's all. Take it a step further by putting a bit of dots here and there just to give it an extra filled up effect. We're through it, and it looks so pretty. Actually, it looks very pretty. We're going to do the same thing now on the plate, and we are going to be doing the edges of the plate because we want it to be food safe. Remember, we're using permanent marker, so you want it to be food safe. You want it to be something that can still be used in the kitchen or on the dining table or whatever. But once it comes to food, you want it to be food safe. So we're just going to do the design on the edges of the tray of the plate alone. Now, to seal this properly and ensure that it is completely permanent, you can place the two pieces in the microwave and place for about 10 to 15 minutes and just let it heat up. By the time you bring it out and it cools down, the marker would actually be permanent on the body of the plate. and the mug. Now for part 2, the second idea, we're going to be making something really, really dear to my heart. It's called the Christmas Wonder Earrings from my business Maple Street. I'm going to show you how to make it, but if you are the type that does not like to make stuff, you can purchase it on my website, my store. The link is below and it is currently on a 50% discount. Yes, a whopping 50% discount. But if you would like to make yours, here is how I made it. So you're going to need wool in whatever color you prefer yours to be to make the pom-pom, and you're going to need what's it called now, teardrop or tear-shaped bead, or any other bead that you find fanciful. But I recommend that you use a tear-shaped bead. Then you're going to need what is called a round nose plier. To form a loop, you're going to need a wire cutter. You're going to need the actual wire itself. I recommend a gauge of 0.8 or 0.9 millimeters. You can still use 0.7. Between the range of 0.7 and 0.9 millimeters will do. Then your earring hook. So the first thing we're going to do is to make the pom-pom, and you need to roll out the wool. But before you roll out the wool, you need to place something in between your fingers. You're going to use 2 random fingers. Place something in between it. You need a bit of space to pass thread through. Now you're going to roll the wool around the 2 fingers like this. So just roll it around the 2 fingers like that while keeping something in between the fingers to separate it. And once you're through, cut out the thread. And then I'm going to place the thread in between the fingers. This is why we put something between your fingers, to allow space to pass thread through. And now I'm going to tie it off. You can remove what's in between your fingers now and then tie off. When you are through tying it off, you can remove it, and by the time you remove it, it should look like the figure 8. Ensure to secure it tightly enough. Now I'm going to take a pair of scissors, and I'm going to pass it through the loops. I'm going to bunch the all loops together and then pass it through the mouth of the scissors and just cut. I'm going to do the same thing on both sides, so that everything fans out. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim, and you can trim as generously as possible, depending on what kind of size you want to achieve. You trim as much as you want to trim. If you note at the top of the pom-pom, where we used the part of the wool to tie it off, note that part because that is where we are going to be passing the wire that we're going to make through. So with the wire, I'm using a 0.8 millimeters gauge wire, and with my flat nose, I can't remember, round nose plier, right? Rather, we're going to make a loop like that, and this loop is what we are going to anchor the middle portion of the pom-pom that I spoke about, where we tied off the loose wool, the loose thread, like that. You're just going to pass it through and it works. It's very simple, it's a no-brainer. And once you do that, you want to close up that loop so that it forms a perfect, complete loop. Once that is done, the next thing is to take a bead and use it as a gauge to measure out the length of wire you're going to make. Here is the first sample. You're going to need a little bit extra, a little bit longer, because you're going to make a loop at the bottom end of the bead. Going to attach the earring hook by doing basically the same thing. The earring hook, the base of the earring hook already has a loop, and so you're just going to open up the loop and once again pass it through the aspect of the pom-pom where we spoke about, where we tied it off. Just slip it under that band, it would stick by itself. Slip it under the band, see, very easy, no brainer. And once you do that, you can close up the loop. Guess what? Our earring is very much ready.